So if someone came to me and asked me, Pat, how would I create a six-figure income with this business? Or if someone came to me and asked me, Pat, how can I impact the most amount of lives in this business? My answer would be the exact same thing. For me, it comes down to developing leaders. 2 or 3 good leaders in this business, if you can do that, you're going to be able to impact way more lives than you can on your own. And the income, there's a direct correlation there. The more lives that you can impact directly and indirectly, Beachbody is going to have a direct correlation with the pay. So that's my goal. That's the end goal with this business. If you want to impact a lot of lives, way more than you can on your own, and if you want to create more financial freedom in your life, it comes down to developing 2, 3, 5 good leaders. I can literally count on one hand the number of leaders that I've developed. And on my team, we're helping 1,000 new people every month commit to a challenge pack in a challenge group. That's 1,000 new people every month that we're helping with challenge groups. And I have not even developed 5 solid rock star leaders yet, but I've developed like 3 or 4 really good ones. So that's the big picture. I like to talk about the big picture first and then kind of reverse engineer it backwards, right? So how do you find those leaders though? And that's what Marissa wanted me to talk about. For me, the foundation of this business is giving people an amazing experience in the 21-day challenge groups. That's what I focus on, the 21-day fix. It's not very intimidating. It's not 3 months, it's 3 weeks. And I don't care how hard you're working out at the gym. If you don't have your nutrition dialed in, you're not going to see the results you want. And of all the Beachbody programs, the 21-day fix dials in people's nutrition the best, and it's very simple with those containers. So that's the one I focus on. It's only 3 weeks, and it nails the nutrition more than any other program out there, right? But the glue of the amazing products that Beachbody has with the workouts and Shakeology and the containers, the glue is the experience you give people. You have to fall in love with giving people an amazing experience in these 21-day challenges. You just have to have a passion for it. You have to understand that, yes, we all know the products are amazing and they work if people use them, but most people don't. They don't stick with it. And this isn't just, I'm not talking about 21-day challenges. It could be anything. People don't stick with things because, yes, those things are pretty easy to do. The things you need to do to build a business, the things you need to do to create a healthy lifestyle are easy things to do, but they're easier not to do. And that's where we come in as coaches. Beachbody's already created these amazing products that work. The glue is us. So when people are talking to me and I'm talking to people about them joining a 21-day challenge, they can tell that I am not out to sell a challenge pack. I don't care about $50. I don't care about 2 Success Club points. I care that they get in my group and have an amazing experience, and that this is something that lasts longer than a 21-day transformation. This is something that they start creating habits during those 21 days that last a lifetime. This is a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. And when I'm having these conversations with people about the 21-day fixed challenge groups that I run, I'm digging deep on their why. I want to know why they're doing this, you know? I want to connect with a feeling. I don't want to know that they want to lose 10 pounds. I want to know why they want to lose 10 pounds. Do they want to have more energy to run around with their kids? Do they not feel confident when they look in the mirror? Like I want to be able to help them feel confident again with who they are. With, you know, like when they look in the mirror, I want them to have more energy. I want to connect with a feeling. So I take my time when I'm talking to people before we even talk about how much a challenge pack costs. If someone says, all right, what's this 21-day challenge? How much does it cost? I say, well, that depends. There's a couple options. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions first? Because if I tell them how much it costs, they're just going to think, oh, $160. they're going to think, okay, everything I've ever paid for, every diet I've tried, every nutrition program I've done, I've never stuck with, I've never had the results. So they're going to hear that price, correlate it with all those other things, and it's going to be too much money for them. But if I can get into the questions and figure out what their why is, and they can start to realize that I'm not just trying to sell something. This isn't like anything else before, because they've never had me before. Now, when we get past those questions, we dig deep for their why, we connect, we build that connection and that trust. I talk a little bit more about what the experience is going to be like. Then the $160 isn't as big of a deal, because the part of the brain, that makes the decisions is the part of the brain that connects to feeling. So if I've connected with a feeling, not like a number, then the feeling part of the brain that makes the decision is going to be the other side of the brain that deals with numbers is going to rationalize the number, because the feeling was so strong, because I took that time to connect with them and dig deep for their why. So I'm building an experience before the experience starts. Does that make sense? Before the challenge starts, there's already an experience happening. And then when they get in the group, even like before they buy their challenge group, there's a prep week. Like, I start a challenge group every 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks I have one that starts. I know exactly when my next one starts. And my deadline, they always start on Monday, and my deadline is always 10 days before on a Friday, right? So my last one, it started a week ago on the 10th. My next one starts on August 31st. I know my deadline for August 31st is August 21st. So right now I know my deadline is the 21st, like this Friday coming up. I always know when my next deadline is. It gives something for me to focus on. And when I follow up with people, I can give them a deadline that's like, hey, like, just, I don't want to get left behind. And I remind them of why they said they want to do this. And I tell them that Friday is kind of the cutoff if they want to do it. So I remind them of their why, and I give them a strict date of when they have to make a commitment by, so they can't waffle anymore. So I have one of those that starts every 3 weeks. So I have a deadline that's every 3 weeks. A couple of things I do in the group and kind of outside of the group leading up to the challenge, like during the prep week, I'll ask them a bunch of different questions that try to get them outside of their comfort zone a little bit, and share a little bit about themselves, why they're in the challenge, what their goals are, their why they're doing this, you know? Because then the people that get outside their comfort zone, and the more they do that, the more the other challengers can relate to them and connect with them. And the more connections that your challengers have with each other, the better the experience they're going to have. Make sense? I also do a group text. I put them all on a group text together too. So we're interacting on a group text, and I love voice texts. You know, like I'll do a voice text. I'll put them all on the text, and I'll say, hey guys, we got the challenge coming up on Monday. Just want to make sure that everyone's had a chance to look at the booklet that has the formula. I want to make sure everyone knows how many of each color container they're going to be eating every day. I want to make sure everyone gets to the grocery store and gets the food they need. I want to make sure everyone looked at to make sure they got all the workouts. Nothing got left out by mistake. They've looked at the calendar. They know, when your workouts are going to be each day of the week. And make sure that when Monday comes around, there's no questions. Like, all their questions are answered. They're all ready to rock and roll. So it's not going to be one of those things where, I don't know if I'm ready for this, and they put it off. It's like, no, we've already done the work. Monday, you're ready to roll. You're ready to run with this thing. I tell them I'll do a voice text on that prep week and say something like, all right, guys, go through your cupboards, go through your fridge, find all the processed foods, all the stuff that doesn't align with your goals and your why, and throw it out. Get it out of the house. Because hopefully you're going to and I tell them, I give them realistic expectations. You're going to have days where it's going to be tough to stick to the containers some days. And you're going to reach for those things that you've always reached for before. But if they're not in the house, hopefully those cravings aren't bad enough for you to get in the car and drive down to the store and get that stuff, right? So just little things like that, just to kind of get them ready and start to continue to build on this experience we're giving them. And I'm going to talk about why it's so important to build the experience. I'll get there. You guys are with me so far? Cool. So then in the group, once we get this thing rocking and rolling, I'm continuing to ask questions every day. Just interactive questions like, what's your favorite workout songs? Or post a photo of your workout sneakers, or post a sweaty photo, those kind of things. And I have a list of like 21 questions, that the same questions usually for each 21-day challenge. And I can send them to Marissa if you guys want to take a look at them. But that keeps the experience going too. I post some YouTube videos that Autumn has on her YouTube channel. One of them is like, who is Autumn? I think that's really cool for people to know who this girl is that they're going to be working out with for the next 3 weeks. Because I think she's a genius with what she did with those containers, and it talks about how she's a single mom, and people love that. That makes the experience even better, knowing who this girl is that they're putting on their computer or their TV every day. And I have a bunch of her little tips that she has on YouTube as well. I also post some videos about Shakeology, so they get like a better understanding of like what Shakeology is and what it does for their body. I'll say I just posted a video yesterday, and I posted it in all my groups too, just kind of like a way of explaining what Shakeology is, because some people, they hear what Shakeology, like what it can do for them, but the more they learn about it, the more research they do, the more of a no-brainer it becomes. The more likely they're going to want to sign up as a coach just for the discount, because they're going to continue to drink Shakeology well after the 21 days. So I'm educating them on that in the group, which is part of the experience. Every day I post a photo that says the day of the week, what day it is. So like today was Monday, day 8. And I say, what was your workout today? And hopefully, like for everyone that's doing the 21-day fix original, it's the same workout, because they're all doing the same workout on that Monday. And then for 21-day fix extreme, it's the plyo extreme, because that's the one I'm doing. So I know that, right? So they're the ones that are doing the extreme, and there's both in the group. I do have people in the group that aren't doing 21-day fix, that are doing other things, but they're drinking Shakeology for the most part. And I do sometimes let people in the group that only buy the 21-day fix, not the challenge pack. Sometimes I make exceptions. And sometimes when I do that, the people that didn't want the challenge pack because they didn't want Shakeology, they end up seeing the other people talk about how great Shakeology is. And I'll do it on purpose. Like, I'll be on a group text and I'll know so-and-so, like, they didn't buy the challenge pack. They only want a 21-day fix. And I'll send a text and say, hey guys, so what do you guys think about Shakeology so far? Are you feeling any difference with it? Any difference in your energy? And then all the people respond back. Because you can notice a difference with Shakeology as far as your energy levels in like 3 days. It's starting to like clean you out. And then the people that didn't buy the challenge pack are like, all right, I want Shakeology now. What do I got to do? Happens quite a bit. It's kind of funny. So I let those people in the group sometimes. So yeah, I post that every day. It says what was your workout today? And then the second question is usually like, what'd you have for breakfast? What'd you have for lunch? Or like, what'd you mix with your Shakeology? What was a healthy snack? So there's always a second question that changes. Another cool thing that I just started, which I think is so important, because again, the products, they freaking work, but you gotta stick with them, right? So what I've started to do, which has made a pretty cool difference, is, I don't know if you guys have heard of Darren Daly, but Darren Hardy, the author of The Compound Effect, he has a free daily motivation. It's like 2 minutes every day. It's something new every day. If you go to darrendaly.com, you can sign up for it and either have it emailed or text to you. And I get it texted to me every day. And it's like a little video or an audio. And it's just a mindset training, that slight edge mentality. Most of it is about that slight edge mentality or the compound effect mentality. So, and I get an email too. And the email is a link, and it just goes right into my challenge group every day. So not only are my challengers getting the fitness component and the nutrition component and the accountability component, they're getting a little personal development component as well, which I think is part of the glue. Because now they're starting to understand that this is something that you got to do the little things every day. And they're starting to feel better, so they're kind of willing to do those things more and more every day. So that's part of it. That's part of the experience. And then also every day I post a photo. Some of this stuff that I say I post, it's really I have a virtual assistant that I pay. Like elance.com is one of the greatest things ever. elance.com, you can go on there, post like what you're looking for, someone that can help you as like an online assistant. And I got a guy from the Ukraine for like $4 an hour. And he's the richest guy in the Ukraine now because of this. And he's great, you know? So he like saves me a ton of time, which is nice. So every morning he posts a photo, he'll go in and he'll look to see who commented on that daily photo that they did their workout. And he'll like tally it up, and he'll post a recognition photo with everyone's name and a number next to their name that represents how many days during that challenge they've been doing their workouts. So at the end of 21 days, people want that 21 next to their name. It's hilarious. The participation in my group has skyrocketed since we started doing that little recognition photo every day. It's amazing what happens when people want to see their name on a recognition post with the number next to it. It's cool. And I honestly think they're not lying about it too. They're actually doing the workouts, which is so cool. It's just a little extra incentive for them to push play for 30 minutes a day, because they don't want to be the one on that recognition with a low number. They don't want to be the one that has like a 15 when everyone else has like 17. I actually added Marissa to a couple of my groups, and there was like, I think there was 10 people in the one group, and I think like 9 or 8 of them had 21 for 21. I think 2 didn't, and it was the 2 guys. What's up with that? Guys, man. Guys are the worst. But they still loved it. So those are just some of the examples. So why is it important to give people a great experience like that? Why is it important to have the glue that gets them to stick with the 21 days? Because as coaches, we're not here to get people a cool before and after photo for 3 weeks. That's not our goal. It is cool to like share that on social media and say, hey, look at what my challenger that got these amazing results in 21 days. But that's not our goal. Our ultimate goal is to help people create a healthy lifestyle long term. And if we get them to stick with this for 21 days and help and show them this is like a sustainable thing, that it's not a 21-day like strict eating plan. It's a 21-day habit forming, mindset creating thing that's going to help you keep with this long term forever, because you're going to feel so good, you're going to want to, right? And hopefully the Darren Daily helps them with that mindset, the slight edge. The other reason you got to give them that experience. If you're giving people that type of experience, you're going to have more people that want to join your challenge groups. So you're going to hit Success Club more often. You're going to hit Success Club 10 more often. More people are going to want to be a part of something like that because they know they're getting way more than just a challenge pack. My people, like, listen to all that stuff I just told you. Like that stuff, that stuff is free, really, right? But like for my challengers, that's part of what they're paying for, and they know it. So the $160, that's nothing compared to what they're going to get. They're going to get a long-term sustainable lifestyle for the rest of their life for $160, and that includes their lunch every day for 30 days. Come on, it's a no-brainer. So the better the experience you give people, the more likely they're going to be to join your challenge group. So you're going to hit Success Club, which is cool, right? The better the experience you give people, the more likely that they are going to want to give that experience to other people. The more likely they're going to want to become a coach and give that experience to other people. It's just like when someone goes to a restaurant. If they have a great experience, they're going to tell their friends about it. If they go to a great movie, they're going to tell their friends about it. If they have a great 21-day fix experience with you, they're going to tell their friends about it. And then when they start referring their friends to you, you say, have you ever considered doing what I do? That's it. That's all I tell people. I don't like try to hunt down people to be coaches. I just say, I think you'd be great at it. Have you ever considered doing what I do? You're basically already doing it. And then what happens is they're like, I love this group. He's basically telling me I'm already kind of doing what a coach does. I love what I'm doing. So maybe I would love this coaching thing. And then I have a couple of videos I send them. One of them is on my YouTube channel. It's called What is a Beachbody Coach? Just, you guys should take a look at that. So it's just, my YouTube's just Patrick Reelman. It's 3 minutes. You should make your own though. But that would be a good one to kind of watch. And I talk kind of about this, what I'm talking about now, like what I do as a coach. It's talking about what I do for people in my 21-day challenges. And then I send that to people and they're like, wow, that's so cool. Like, and that's exactly what you did for me. And I go, yeah, what I did for you, that's what you would do as a coach. Like, did you have a great experience? Do you want to give that experience to others? And they're like, yeah, there you go. And then, then if they do want to get in more into it, I'll show them how to actually find people and how to actually invite. But yeah, the better the experience, the more likely people are going to want to join you as a coach. It's just that simple. And the better the experience you give your people, yes, the more likely they are to want to become a coach. But when they do become a coach, what happens is they're a better coach. The best way, when I have people that come to me, because I have people that come to me and say, hey, I want to do this coaching thing. I want to do the business. I go, great. You got to do one of my 21-day challenges first up. Because I can't train someone to be a great coach. Like, the best way for me to train them is for them to be a client of mine and me give them a great experience. Because what happens when I do that, they go off, they decide, okay, they're so excited. They go and talk to people about joining their 21-day challenge. And the people they're talking to, again, they can tell that they're not trying to sell. They're so excited about what they're talking about that it's easier for them to talk to people and it's more natural for them to invite. So if someone comes to me and wants to be a coach, like, I don't want them to go be a coach right away, which I think is unconventional for some Beachbody coaches. But for me, I want them to do the 21-day challenge and have that experience. That's going to make them such a better coach. It's going to make it so much easier for them to invite, and they're going to get a much better response. And then when they do get that good response and people do want to join their challenge groups, they are going to give their people a great experience because they're going to give their people the same experience that you gave them. So it all comes back to giving people an amazing experience in these challenge groups. That's how you're going to get more people to join them and hit Success Club. That's how you're going to get more people that want to become coaches. And that's how you're going to train great coaches. That's how you're going to find those 2 or 3 or 5 leaders that are going to impact a ton of lives, thousands of lives, and give you some financial freedom too. It all comes back to that great experience though. See, I told you I was going to bring it full circle here. Just had to wait for it. So one more thing I want to talk about, and then I guess I don't know how long your calls go, 45 minutes? So one thing I talk about with my coaches is, especially new coaches, but just coaches in general, like, this business is like, has anyone ever tried to run up an escalator that's going down? I used to do it all the time, like at the mall, and my mom would get upset at me. It was just fun. Like, you try to run up it and see if you can get to the top when it was going down the other way. That's how this business is. This business is like running up an escalator that's going down. And you're running full speed, but you're barely moving in the beginning. When you first get on that thing, you're running full speed and you're just not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. Because what happens is, most people, when you first start, like, they don't really understand what you're doing. They're like, oh, who's this that's trying to be a coach? You got to get your no's. Your no's are a good thing, a very good thing. Your no's are you planting a seed. And when you get a no, you've planted a seed, and now they're going to watch you. They will not comment on anything you post. They will not like anything you post, but they are watching. Trust me. I know from experience. So you have to, now they're watching, you have to be consistent with your own journey for a year. 90% of my people that join my challenge groups, there are people that told me no over a year ago. I don't just connect with people on Instagram and then they buy a challenge pack from me like the next week. It's usually like 3 months, 6 months. A lot of times it's over a year, most of the time. So you get the no, you planted the seed. Now they watch. They're not going to comment. They won't like anything, but they're watching. And you're consistent with your journey. A year later, they're going to come back around. But what a lot of times what happens I see with new coaches is they get on that escalator, they plant their seeds, and they're running full speed, and they're inviting like crazy, and they're so excited. And when you're running up an escalator that's going down, you're not going to go as fast as you think. That's how it is in the beginning of this business. You're not going to see the results. You're not going to move as fast as you want. Just how it works. So they get like halfway up the escalator, and then they get discouraged because they've been running fast, but they haven't really got that far. They're only halfway up, and they think they should be like a mile down the road. So what do? They stop. And what happens when you stop on an escalator that's going down? You go all the way to the bottom, and all those seeds you planted are dead, because now they're going to say, oh, I knew it. I knew she was going to quit on this thing. That's why I didn't join her initially. So now if you want to get back on the escalator, you got to replant those seeds, and you got to be consistent for another year now. You lost all that momentum. I did that to myself for 3 or 4 years when I first became a coach, over and over and over. And a couple of times, which was even worse, I got a couple coaches that wanted to join me and got on the escalator with me, and I still stopped. And then they were like, dude, where are you going? You're going back to the bottom? Why am I on this stupid escalator? And then they stopped, and they went back to the bottom with me. And I lost all my momentum again, and I had to start at the bottom again. And I kept seeing these coaches get on the escalator, and they didn't stop. They didn't stop planting seeds. They didn't care that they weren't going that fast. And then they finally got to that top, and they got a couple of good leaders that wanted to join them, and their businesses exploded because they were consistent with planting seeds for a full year. They didn't care about the results. They just did it. And I got so mad at myself. I finally got back on the escalator for the last time after 4 years of being stuck on the stupid thing. And I said, I don't care like who I got to talk to. I don't care how many seeds I got to plant. I don't care who comes with me. I'm not getting off this freaking escalator until I find 2 or 3 leaders that want to do this with me. And I know in my gut that I will. It's inevitable. I just knew it. And when I started to have that mentality, people noticed it. They weren't like, this Pat kid is desperate for me to join him anymore. It was like, wow, he's going to be successful with this, with or without me. And I'm either going to go with him or I'm going to get left behind. And that's the type of mentality you got to have in this business. You got to tell yourself that you're going to be on this escalator as long as it takes. You don't care how many seeds you got to plant, but you're going to continue to plant them daily, and you're going to be consistent with your journey daily, and you're going to share your journey daily, and you're going to give people an amazing experience for those ones that want to join you. And if you do that, if you're giving people that amazing experience and falling in love with that, more people are going to get on that escalator with you. So who's getting on the escalator? You're not getting off until you get to the top. That's the important part.